Routine of voice, 3 minutes.
There is a valise in one hand and another,
And walking down the
walking
steps in a station.
steps.
Tracks get higher above an ocean of sound coming from below.
Laughing for noise
It's noise.
and quivering, I took the typewriter.
No, it was a pen in the Ashbury poem.
Note a tidbit of homely scenes in night typing in neutral
In
air.
neutral air.
Water running, sounds of the bed made momentously.
As a stooge with big glasses, sleeping in it.
Strictly speaking, we are to make a poet's theater play. Hannah and Miriam, or Simone appear in and out of a field.
A
And
futurologist.
pseudo voices.
The futurologist's noise give expression to what paranoid number crunching in think tanks suppressed. Their vision will be banned.
Grammatically speaking, the play lights out in several directions, and Hannah interrupts.
Put down the valises.
Explain there will always be two,
One for you, one for me.
And a third between
Here,
here.
Simone paints a green ghost in a red alarm that fades.
It is impossible that our mothers would ever meet.
In what is a literal observation in the era of oof.
Down those stairs in no man's land.
A fantasia.
ocean depths.
Pseudo voices chiming in.
Water blushes, a descent sly or ironic, a
A certain,
surface.
a bit resonant with water
Water
stains.
stains behaviors that might seem uncharacteristic.
Marion desires company, but never makes more out of it than what it is. Her inner life is just her business. She enjoys Hannah's regard, her distance, though she would prefer that what stands between her and another remain undescribed. Therefore, she doesn't speak easily. Is there something she wishes to get across with her silence?
The play lights out on a path, and Hannah interrupts with their obsession regarding natality.
A major theoretical intervention. Marion won't say that she is distracted by calculating. Networks for the sun and the moon.
Sex and the 1983 lyrics of Depeche Mode. Operating, generating new life, new life. But she is in truth distracted by the taste of
Or
mythology.
mythology.
Hannah likes to keep her distance, to stand alone so she isn't really there. Then words start to act out. Hers takes on a new life,
The
a new
timer is
life.
set at 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes, 7 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Prologue, 2.5 minutes. Pseudo voice. Events by definition are occurrences that interrupt routine processes and routine procedures. Pseudo voice, as snake or sneak in the grass. The futurologists enter shyly, enter slyly, wonder if there's a way to take everything back. Pseudo voice.
Hannah and Marion converse under a canopy of fictional intimacy, keeping the futurologists at bay. For a minute or so, they are able to hold them off.
The typewriter keys denote the primordial sounds of happiness.
Hannah slyly. In a world in which nothing of importance ever happens, could futurologists' dreams come true?
Marion shyly. In a world in which only the futurologists' dreams come true, nothing impromptu happens.
In a world come true, the futurologists come true, the dream of importance comes true.
Nothing ever happens, and only a world dreams true futurologists.
Pseudo voice. Events by definition are occurrences that interrupt routine processes and routine procedures. Pseudo voice as fresh off the rack. The futurologists enter shyly, enter slyly, wonder if there's a way to take everything back. Pseudo voice.
Hana slyly. Only in a world in which nothing of importance ever happens could futurologists' dream come true.
Marion, shyly, in a world in which only the futurologist's dreams come true, nothing impromptu happens.
In a world dreams come true, in a world come true, the futurologists come true, the dream of importance comes true.
Nothing ever happens, and only a world dreams true futurologists.
Pseudo voice says snake or sneak in the grass. Who are you? Let's do it again. The futurologist enter shyly, enter slyly. Wonder if there's a way to take it all back. Scene of futurologists. 7 minutes. Futurologists.
If the ban was on 2005 and it is 2006, the ban is now on 2006.
And if it's now 2007, the ban will be on 2007. If the ban is on 2007.
And it is now 2008, the ban will be on 2008.
If the ban was on 2008 and if it is 2009, the ban will be on 2009. If there was a ban on 2009, it is now 2010. And the ban will be on
2011 and then 2012, until there is no difference, since 2012 will be the sign of
2013 banned before 2014, banned before 2015, banned before 2016, thick with banning, thick with banning,
2016
thick
might
with
be thick
banning.
with banning, might be closer to 2017, thick with being banned.
It might be a little different. 2018 might be a little thick. 2019 a little thicker.
Yet 2020
2020
thicker.
then 2019, though still comparable to 2019 and to 2021, which will be a
Hair's breadth thicker.
than 2020, which is a
Hair's breadth thicker.
2019 and
And a hair's breadth thinner
than 2021,
the dense year.
New light, new light, new light, new light.
Eros gives way to a twin. Gravity loosens its hold. So many out of its wound. Eros gives way to a trove. 2021 is dense. 2022 is no longer like the banned year of 2005,
Which is dense with being banned. To clarify, each is banned in 2022 is dense with being banned. Next 2023 is banned and characterizable as in it was the year of density.
2024 it calls 2023 the year of density to distinguish itself from the invisibility of the banned years.
2025 is not banned and sees 2024
As a premonition of change, 2026 sees 2025
as
as
a
a declarative year.
2026 tells us that 2025 tells us it all happened here. 2027 finds us here and begins to
characterize
characterize
the future. 2028 will be the year, a singular year.
2021 will know it, will envy it,
It
will
will
count
count,
it.
it will compare it, it will
Will
transgress it,
transgress
it will
it,
table
it
it,
will
brag
It will surrender to it
and
and
defy,
defy,
defy. Yet
It's-
2030 will know it and look at it.
2031, 2031,
2031,
2031,
2031 will look beyond, and know if the
2031.
beyond it sees is forward or backward.
2032 will study the problem,
The
the frame
phrase
is
left open.
As 2033 is the year in which the study is made.
2034 will have people in it, and they will have names. 2035
2035 will name names.
On the
Hana,
wall, 2036 will discover the following regarding the banned years.
Mourning,
sickness,
sickness.
singing.
the missing.
person.
Expressions of great feeling.
2037 will approach the word banned as an object of fascination and terror and will make a bargain
With the future,
In declaring it an object worth remembering and knowing, 2038 will initiate the ban on banning. 2039 will ineffectively contest the ban on
On
banning.
2040 will see fighting through the thin walls of
2039, 2041 will predict the walls are thinning. 2042 will declare that the room is not a room.
but that there was no casual relationships between the predicted thinning and the room being not one. 2042 will break down the details of the dispute
to
show that the room was a room.
Leaving the remains for the poets,
the pots of the
sink, the lining of truth,
The sparrows,
the dog-eared pages,
The frozen forgotten.
The refusal of assimilation.
an open arrangement after the door closed.
What year are we in? Those improvisers are not the futurists I had critiqued.
Whoever follows them is deluded. Do you ever free associate a plaid and a dent, the debt in a pleat? Feather or flight, an open arrangement after the door closed.
My purpose is to make sense of things. But this current environment is too difficult to get to know.
There is something poetic about our meeting place, a canopy of haunts that may confuse your futurologists. In poetry, the gloom of their nothing hovers around the excitement of their something. Yet I find myself embarrassed about the crisis of everything.
Gloom, yes. I would say that their hypothetical so-called facts and predictions are gloomy. But worse than that.
Well, I don't know. They make me nervous. Think tank pollution, greed is good. It makes me feel stuck somewhere between the past and the future. When I went away to war, I was at home at my desk, if you get my drift.
An interpretation of the course of daily life, interfering in the cycle of biological life processes.
It turns out to have been a good time to be a woman. When was it that you were in Vienna? I was there once.
I could say that I can't agree with you more. I was in Vienna in 1933. I was caught passing out anti-Nazi pamphlets.
Pseudo-voice and futurologists, 4 minutes.
The canopy.
It's as light as violets rushing through the storm.
drains in 1906.
Holmes, cut experience though.
Don't listen to Marion.
Unless you are interested.
In a nonconformity that remains a
Private affair.
She is not interested in your knowing
He
her.
wasn't born yet.
And then who is born?
As one,
Not giving orders,
influencing them.
shooting them, or obeying them.
Hannah offers Marion a wallet of
A
dissidence.
sandwich of paraphrases.
Cigarette lighter. Or was it the other way around?
Hannah thinks about what it means to be on the receiving end of such gifts.
While Marion takes the whole thing as a kind of awkward compliment.
People can be very enthusiastic, and I was probably too enthusiastic.
Note the 12 years difference.
In age.
There's a blackout, a pause, a decisive cut.
A cigarette light. We see that one is nervously snacking, the other frantically typing.
One tends to think in a reclining position.
Which is which?
Which is which? You mean, who is who?
Who is nervously and shy?
Who
nervous
corrects
and
her
shy.
posture? One is snacking on cigarettes.
One is your mother.
And one is the other.
But who is who?
Filtered through a canopy of smoke.
Obscure and nuanced, each indulged in a bit of snacking.
A bit of typing.
But never in the same way.
Never.
Never.
The
The
eucalyptus
eucalyptus collapses in the street and is replaced by a palm.
A newspaper rustles against the frequencies of
the television.
Really, the rabbit hole waits for you, my dear.
The dark human heart is inaccessible.
That was a thought.
Never spoken between them.
But you can find it in print.
In parallel, Hannah types her reportage,
Her observations.
Her discernments.
Regarding social decay,
Evil,
The roots of mass,
the alteration of
Rotting
processes.
processes by the miraculous interference of beginnings.
beginnings.
hobbies under communism,
the modern enchantment of small things.
the arrest of what's bringing us down.
The silent remains.
Of its removal.
And Marion hunts and pecks out some doggerel by Witter Binner she found reprinted in a memoir about collecting Japanese prints.
There came a man to our town, and he was wondrous wise. He jumped on every suffragist and scratched out both her eyes. He did the same to Lincoln, for freedom makes him blue, but Lincoln has survived it. The suffragists will too. Scene with voice, 6 minutes.
Is this play about the impossibility of personal experience from the perspective of grand ideas, or the other way around? The impossibility of big ideas from the perspective of personal experience. The gash between them gushing with neo-expressionist wishes. Francesco Comenti. I used to work in the other building. It was a museum. This was, and it was as well. Objects above and below the galleries, as well as the administrative dramas, the boardroom strategies and tangles, the ironic sensibilities of some, the earnestness of others. The jangles of these human and institutional dynamics that are mixing together under the pressure of the divergent interests to which the museum responds were magnified for me in the silence of art. I am visiting this threshold, thinking about something or someone else.
Within artistic mediums,
It is
silence is associated
unclear to me
with
whether
negative
it is
spaces
she or
in
her
visual
art
art and
that
poetry,
shadows the shaping
and
of
with the
this
stop or
scene.
pause of music.
Number 5, I am thinking
Silence
about
may be perceived as
Simone's
an
doors
absence in an otherwise
The clay
sound-filled
forms
chamber.
of her doors are narrow
Plotted narrative,
and of unequal height,
silence,
their
is
tops
the site
lopsided,
of the secret
as if strained
and
by
its
war
discovery.
and touched by
in
time.
psychoanalytic
They are
theory.
lined up in a
Silence is
descending order.
associated with a
The
myriad of
scale doors
concepts
become as musical
which
and
renders the
temporal as
lost
they are
object
spatial
inaccessible
and
to
tactile.
the language
They hover
of psychic
between
processing.
concept, story, ancient
introjection.
history, and
Silence in a psychosexual
between
dynamic
now, remnant of
may
and
encourage
passage
noise
way to
about
a
past
lost,
that covers
interior,
up
a
anxiety
pleasure,
about
a
why.
secret, a
In
statelessness
politics,
They are
silence may be
indications
associated
of the
with the
regions of thought that
privilege
time
of
sculpts
power
through Syrian tragedy
hold
and Mesopotamian
knowledge close
afterlife,
and to
between
cover up
integral
or
and
lie.
interval, between
Historical
progression
narration
and
is formed
procession.
by the
The
impossibility,
things in
of
the
telling
museum condense
everything
into an
by the
impression.
it includes
surprise
vaulted ceilings,
appearance that
microphones, or the
changes
disuse of them.
expectations
Somewhere there may
Or
be a
the
painting in
course of
which a
events
spiral
by
jets
which is
off
excluded
the side of the canvas.
for its apparent
Any of his
insignificance
written notes
or
could be
political
sonic cues,
antagonism
Or Hannah
to a
cuts in with a
dominant
vision of
perspective,
ontological roots.
or the notes just
and
hang
by
out where they are, like a
revision.
spiral jetting off to the
The
left
left
side
side
of
of
the
the
canvas.
But
Spiral
silence
possibly
particular
doesn't
spiral
exist,
possibly
show
doesn't
itself
exist.
or it
as a
is
sign of
reintroduced as the
respect
name
for another,
of an African-American
It is
artist collective
a
in the
medium
1960s.
of meditative
May signal
space,
a painting,
or
politics,
about the
a system,
thoughtful
or it
relationship
devolves as replica.
to the present,
The
from
replica,
which a new
signature
thing
and the
can
microphone.
arise.
The reverb and the
and the
verb.
verb.
A feature of political.
It is
or
often
communal
noted that Hannah Arendt didn't have much to say about modern or contemporary art.
This is
And
not
this
a
is
performance.
not a
This is
performance.
not
This is
a
not a
performance.
performance.
So,
About Hannah Arendt, this is not a
or
performance
threat.
about
Hannah
Hannah
Arendt
Arendt,
cuts
although
in
it
and
depends
goes
upon
aside.
it depends upon
themselves from
Hannah Arendt
Cuts
the
in
outside.
and changes things.
For example,
privy
My
to
mother,
the word
who did love
indeed,
art,
And especially Japanese
Correct.
French.
Gardens was
Within
embarrassed about the
Crisis of
everything.
interior.
So I packed my valises
I was holding them, one in each hand.
behind the sofa near where my mother sat watching television.
The small black one contained the story of my life to date.
And the larger one, which you could still tuck under a seat or in a small baggage compartment,
Held on the other. I wasn't really thinking about this being lopsided.
She was watching television
In
in
black
and white.
Overview.
A shot of trial room.
The tops of heads.
Man
Man in booth.
This becomes Eichmann.
Seated with two uniformed
Cut
men.
to the close-up of an attorney.
Cut to Eichmann,
Cut.
huge spectacle
Seated
seated
between two uniformed men with a
The
third
third
Cut
seated
to
just
Eichmann
on the outside of the room.
This
seated,
because-
between two uniformed men.
Bulletproof.
Cut to discussion of men in courtroom,
Headphones.
Machines.
which becomes translation machines.
Translation
Cut to
machines.
Eichmann, crowd of people in the courtroom seated.
Something in what becomes German.
Someone instructs in English to give the voice
Solid intonation.
Don't do any extra work. Don't read it. Solid.
Solid.
German. May I have the
Cut to the people in the courtroom,
Cut.
woman in a
Long
long
wool
wool coat,
coat.
close-up of attendees.
Cut.
Cut to Eichmann and a man in uniform. Cut to man in trial room waiting on a pad.
Silence except for the spray of the recording.
My favorite defense of Hannah Arendt's characterization of the new evil is Judith Butler's, who explains it as a new form.
of
Hideousness that is able to pass itself off as the normal.
As I was
Carrying
saying,
them lopsided.
The child
Scene,
is the hero.
scene, 2.5 minutes.
who descends the stairs over the quay? A pale green ghost in nature's red square, or an archaeological virtue descending and alongside the blushing water. The sun and the moon, metaphors older than someday, they were the shade and the thought. She came upon a tidbit of homely scenes. Hannah and Marion appear in and out of a field of futurologists and pseudo-voices. She took them to the home of the sun and the moon, where she herself resided, placing them on the shelves that supported and enhanced them. And only somebody else can know the distance between the sun and the moon, where everything, the apartment, the shelves, the objects, and the people living in the rooms, in and around them, something hard to imagine, perhaps, the word happy, the lava of their rebellion, a little dangerous aspect of a person not appearing as a lump, not being spoken of as one object. Each subject turns herself into another at times, having seen more than one valise, having dropped in a minute what was about to happen in the future she was bringing after the invasion, after the trips, after the systematically planned no man's land, which doesn't fit the bookshelves. The arrangement of no man's land, it was clear, it was planned, the entire Arab world was to become no man's land, and it was the year 1961, and it was the year 2002, something looming at the base of the categories, which even the date 1948 doesn't quite fasten to, since each of us still living are threaded through it. Let her explain.